Hey budgeteers, Google Sheets part is here. We're going to keep converting the original budget template that I've got over into Google Sheets. If you're just joining us, make sure that you start from the beginning by clicking the link here. Otherwise, let's go. All right, here we go. So this is where we left off. We've got income, debts, personal withholdings, and actually I don't know why this one's all caps. I don't like that. Let's go ahead and just turn that down before we get going here. All right, so the next thing that we're going to want to add, if we look at our original budget template here, we've got personal withholdings in. Let's go to household related expenses. And again, we're just adding the section here. We're not really doing the back end calculations so much yet. So let's go ahead and grab that if we can. And we'll put it one row below this other one. So if we come in and paste that right here, we should get some amazing stuff. Let's take this formatting and we'll actually just click right here. So to do that, I clicked on this, click this little paint roller, and put it right over top. And now you'll notice that it's got it the same as this one here. So even though debts up here is green on the original budget template, I'm going to have it be red, and I'm going to have household related expenses be red as well. So then we've got all of these different household related expenses. Now if you weren't able to just copy and paste that over, it's simple enough. Let's go ahead and we'll remove that. So let's just get rid of it altogether. What you'll do is you'll come up here, you can actually just grab debts if you'd like and copy that and paste that as well. Then you can just change this to say household related expenses. And that way you've got the exact same thing going on here, and then you can begin to add rows. Now you'll notice if I add a row right here, it will basically insert one above and it'll expand this black box around it. So it's great. However, if I add the row below and I do that, it doesn't do anything. So you have to add them in the middle here and make sure that you've got them above like that. Now what happens if I add one here? Everything on this deep dark box will actually open up. So you can't add it on the top row unless you're ready to go back and reformat some of that. I suggest just going right in the middle, insert a row above. You can add as many of these as you want. You'll notice on here I've got 20 different lines and then a total at the bottom. So what we'll do again, for this is a blue box because it is something that you can change or edit. We've been doing yellow over here in Google Sheets. So I'm just going to leave that right alone. And we will grab as many rows as we want. Now I can actually say here, I can say insert and I can do one above. You can actually click multiple rows, and if you do, oh, you know what? That doesn't work on here. You can go ahead and insert them such as this. So we'll go ahead and do that. There are a lot of differences from Microsoft Excel, so I have to learn along as I go as well, because I'm not as familiar with this, but it definitely will do just about everything that we can do on the other side. So let's see here. I've got quite a few of these little rows. You can name them anything you want. In my original template, I just name everything HRE1, HRE2, etc. So I am just going to pull those down here. Oh, it's going to grab that formatting. Let's do HRE3, and then we'll just drag those to this point, and HRE8. So now you can go in and add those to be whatever you want them to be. And again, we've got our formulas already set up on this. Now, in order to take the non-formatting here, if I just copy this or click here and click copy, and what I'm doing is I'm right-clicking, copy, and I'm pasting that here, you're going to notice that it'll put that black box in as well. So what I'll want to do is I'll want to do a copy, and then I'll want to right-click here and do a paste special, and we'll go with the formula only. So if I do that, no formatting comes through, but it does the same formula. So I can put in that we'll change this one here to mortgage is going to be $1,200 a month, and I pay $1,200 a month. It's going to zero out, which is great. We'll have this one be a water bill. We'll say that we usually expect $28, and this month it was only $27. So now it's only negative $1, which means we saved $1 on this. So that's great. You can change all of those. Put in zeros if you want to make it look legitimate here, and then let's go ahead and we'll copy this and let's paste special, the formula, in all of these. So we'll go ahead and do that, and that will go ahead and do our calculations for us. Now you can go ahead and add as many rows as you want. Like I said, it's not constrained by anything there. One thing that you'll want to note is that as you're adding rows here, it will make it a little bit more difficult because we're going to add our bucket accounts next. So let's go ahead and we'll do that. Basically, it's an identical box system here. And so we'll go ahead and just copy this box right here now that we've added those in and paste it over here. Now, if you want more of these rows than you do of these rows, you'll have to do it a little bit more particular, because you'll notice if I insert one on row 20, it will insert one here and here. In my budget template, just for symmetry, I've got the exact same amounts on both of these, and you'll notice I don't use these and I don't use these, but I have them there just in case they need to be used. Over here, however, if you have some reason that you might want to insert a row, then what you can do is you can go ahead and insert the rows here, and then you can delete rows as well. And when you delete rows, you're going to delete cells, and when you're over here, you can also insert cells. So if I insert cells and shift down, it's going to add the row only over here. If I delete the cells and I shift up, it's going to delete only the row over here. So I don't want, let's say I don't want this row over here, I can shift these up, and now this box is smaller than this box over here. So if you want them to not be identical, that's fine. I'm going to go back and just have them be exactly the same. And I use just bucket and numbers. So let's do the same thing here. Bucket 1, bucket 2, if I can spell here. Bucket 3, and so on, and then bucket 8. Perfect. So now I can go ahead and play with these values as well, and you'll notice the formulas are already doing what they were doing over there because these were pasted from over here. So they're exactly the same, totally identical. Now that we have household-related expenses and household-related expenses, we're going to want to change that. You can name it something else. If you run a cash envelope system, you could call this cash envelopes. If you run a bucket system, you can call it the bucket account expenses. You can call it whatever you want. I prefer expenses. I prefer buckets just because I do them a whole different way. I don't use cash in the buckets as much as others do, so I call them buckets and I work with them a different way. Now we're going to need some totals on the bottom. So we have our total household related expenses and our total buckets, and we're going to go ahead and add that in. So up here we are going to grab the total line, which is this one, and we'll just copy that and we'll paste it right here, and we'll paste it right here. Now you'll notice this right here, the sum is only summing these three. So what you can do, there's a couple ways we can go about this. You can delete what's inside the sum, and we can just re-highlight these and hit enter, and that will now sum all of those. We can also go ahead and just start all the way over, equals sum parenthesis, and then we'll go ahead and highlight those, close it, and there it is. You can even just change the numbers. So let me go back here. This one again is only summing just these three. So if I look over here, this is row 17, this is row 24. So on this, I can just change it to say H17 to H24, and you'll notice it highlighted the entire area for us. Hit enter, and we're good to go. If I put 1, 1, and 1, you'll notice it'll add them all up. So that's great. What we'll do next after bucket account expenses and household related expenses is we will be jumping in to do our weekly budget, or this is basically a separate bucket that comes out on that. And we will not be building in the weekly budget tool yet because this piece of it basically feeds this, and at this point we're not doing anything that's feeding anything yet. Everything on our budget template on Google Sheets is going to be manually entered for now until we get to the end. We'll go back through and add all of the automated systems into this as well. That'll take some time, so when you're done with the first few videos of this, I'm guessing it'll be around video 4 or 5 here, you will be able to just have a spreadsheet that you can run month by month. And then if you want to continue beyond that, you'll be able to create these separate tabs, not these here, we'll do all the months for sure, but like bucket accounts and expense trackers, things like that will be available in Google Sheets. So with that being said, budgeteers, I hope that you've learned a lot and moved your budget forward. We will join again in the next video, and we will go even further. We'll see you next time, budgeteers.